The Viltrume Empire. It's a highly advanced civilization in the universe of Invincible. Hailing from the planet Viltrume, the Viltrumites are a race of superpowered beings with immense strength, flight, and near invulnerability. Their society values strength and conquest above all else, fostering a culture where only the strongest survive. And this has led to their expansionist nature, as they believe their power gives them the right to impose order on the universe. Originally, the Viltrumites set out to spread their influence across the galaxy by conquering or assimilating weaker civilizations, and their empire grew rapidly, with entire planets falling under their control. They often use a method of peaceful integration, where they send one of their own to prepare a world for eventual takeover. And despite their brutal ways, they consider themselves superior and see their actions as a way of bringing order to what they perceive as a chaotic universe. The empire is led by a powerful hierarchy, with an emperor at the top, Argal, and below him are elite warriors. Among the most notable members is Omni-Man and Thrag. Other high-ranking warriors include Conquest, Lucan, Thula, who embody the Empire's ruthless nature, carrying out missions with unwavering brutality. And while most Viltrumites are fiercely loyal to their empire, some members question their ways, leading to conflicts within their ranks. And throughout their history, the Viltrumites have faced both victories and setbacks. Their empire has encountered resistance from various civilizations and individuals who refuse to submit to their rule. And while they continue their mission of expansion, they are not The Galactic Empire, also known simply as the Empire, is the dominant authoritarian regime in the Star Wars universe that first got introduced in A New Hope. It was founded by Emperor Palpatine after the fall of the Galactic Republic, following the Clone Wars. The Empire is characterized by its oppressive rule, militaristic expansion, and reliance on fear to maintain control. Its primary goal is to establish absolute order across the galaxy, eliminating any resistance that threatens its rule. It expands its influence through military force, using the Imperial Navy, stormtroopers, and fearsome weapons like the Death Star. And the Imperial government centralizes power, stripping local systems of autonomy and enforcing strict laws. And the Imperial High Command oversees operations, with key figures like Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Grand Admiral Thrawn, ensuring the Empire's dominance. And the Empire views the Jedi as a threat to its authority and actively hunts down survivors of the Jedi Purge, Order 66, through agents like the Inquisitors. The Empire's military is its greatest strength, with a massive fleet of Star Destroyers, TIE fighters, and elite Stormtrooper legions, stationed across countless star systems. And while its rule is brutal, it also brings economic stability and technological advancements to some worlds, but at the cost of freedom. And propaganda plays a key role in maintaining control, portraying the Empire as the savior of the galaxy from chaos. However, its oppressive policies, heavy taxation, and disregard for alien species breed resentment among many, leading to the rise of the Rebel Alliance, a coalition dedicated to restoring democracy. However, internal corruption, overconfidence, and growing rebellion eventually lead to its decline, and the destruction of the Death Star, followed by Emperor Palpatine's downfall in Return of the Jedi, marks the beginning of the Empire's collapse. Though remnants of the Empire persist in the form of warlords and factions like the Imperial Remnant and later the First Order, and its reign as a dominant force in the galaxy ultimately ends. The Fire Nation. It's a powerful and militaristic nation in Avatar: The Last Airbender. As one of the 4 major nations in the world, it is home to firebenders, individuals who can manipulate fire. The Fire Nation is ruled by an autocratic monarchy, with the Fire Lord as its leader. And unlike the other nations, which promote balance and coexistence, the Fire Nation seeks dominance, believing it is their destiny to bring order to the world through conquest. And the Fire Nation's history is marked by a relentless campaign for expansion, beginning a century before the events of the series when Fire Lord Sozin initiated the 100-Year War. Seeking to spread his nation's influence, Sozin launched an invasion against the Air Nomads, attempting to exterminate the Avatar, the one person who could stop their conquest. Over the decades, successive Fire Lords, including Azalon and Ozai, continued the war, conquering large portions of the Earth Kingdom and subjugating its people. And the Fire Nation's technological advancements, including steam-powered warships, airships, and industrialized weaponry, gave it a significant advantage over the other nations. And its leadership is dominated by its royal family, with Fire Lord Ozai serving as the main antagonist for most of the series. His children, Prince Zuko and Princess Azula, play critical roles in the war effort, each with their own ambitions and struggles. Other key figures include General Iroh, a legendary firebender and military leader, and Admiral Zhao, a ruthless officer determined to crush the Water Tribes. And the nation's elite firebenders possess advanced techniques such as lightning generation and blue fire, setting them apart as some of the most dangerous warriors in the world. And its belief in strength above all else fosters internal conflict, and its harsh rule breeds rebellion among the conquered people. And the war also takes toll on its own citizens, many of whom begin to question the Fire Lord's leadership. And over time, the Fire Nation faces resistance from the Avatar and his allies, leading to a climatic battle that determines the fate of the world. The First Order. It's a totalitarian military regime in Star Wars, emerging from the remnants of the fallen Galactic Empire, after the events of Return of the Jedi. Following the Empire's defeat at the Battle of Endor, many Imperial officers and warlords fled into the unknown regions, where they regrouped and rebuilt in secret. Over the decades, these ex-Imperials, driven by their loyalty to Emperor Palpatine's ideals, reformed under a new banner, creating the First Order. They sought to restore Imperial rule across the galaxy, believing that the New Republic was weak and chaotic in comparison to the structured power of the Empire. Its leadership is structured the same as the Empire, but with some key differences. Instead of an Emperor, he is ruled by Supreme Leader Snoke, and beneath him are high-ranking officials like General Hux, who commands the First Order military, and Kylo Ren, a powerful force-wielding warrior who serves as Snoke's enforcer. And unlike the Empire, which relied heavily on bureaucracy, the First Order is more fanatical, with its officers and soldiers indoctrinated from a young age to be completely loyal to the cause. And militarily, the First Order is even more aggressive and advanced than the Empire. They possess Star Destroyers, TIE fighters and heavily trained stormtroopers, but they take their weapons of war even further. Their most terrifying creation is Starkiller Base, a massive superweapon capable of destroying entire star systems, far surpassing the Death Star in destructive capability, and they use overwhelming force and terror to bring systems under their control, rapidly expanding their influence while eliminating any resistance, including the fledgling resistance led by General Leia Organa. And Kylo Ren's personal struggles with his identity and his rivalry with Hux create divisions in leadership, weakening their effectiveness. Additionally, while they achieve major victories early on, such as the destruction of the New Republic's capital, they underestimate their enemies. Over time, their oppressive rule leads to widespread rebellion, and their reliance on Snoke is exposed as a flaw when he is betrayed from within. And the First Order ultimately serves as a reflection of the Empire's failures, proving that brute force alone cannot guarantee lasting control over the galaxy. The World Government. It is the most powerful political organization in the world of One Piece, ruling over the majority of known territories and enforcing global law through its military branches. It was formed over 800 years ago, when 20 kingdoms allied to defeat the Great Kingdom, an ancient and mysterious civilization that opposed them. And after their victory, these rulers established the world government and its capital in Marijoa, where their descendants, the Celestial Dragons, continue to exert influence. The world government presents itself as a force of peace and order, but beneath its surface, it is deeply corrupt, willing to suppress history and eliminate anyone who threatens its authority. The world government is structured into multiple organizations, with the Five Elders serving as its highest executive authority, directly answering to a shadowy figure known as Emu. Below them are the Marines, the primary military force responsible for enforcing justice across the seas, led by the Fleet Admiral and various high-ranking officers like the Admirals. Additionally, the CP agencies, including the Elite CPO, act as intelligence operatives and enforcers, carrying out assassinations and covert missions. And for much of its history, the world government also maintained the Seven Warlords of the Sea, a group of powerful pirate allies who were given legal immunity in exchange for serving their interests. And one of the world's government's primary goals is to maintain its control over the world and suppress the truth about the Void Century, the lost period of history that could expose its dark origins. To achieve this, they have outlawed the study of poneglyphs, the ancient stone tablets that reveal the history of the Great Kingdom and the truth behind the legendary One Piece treasure. And despite its immense power, the world government faces increasing resistance. There's the Revolutionary Army, led by Monkey D. Dragon, directly opposes its rule, seeking to overthrow the corrupt system and free the oppressed nations under its control. Additionally, figures like Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates, along with other powerful individuals, challenge its authority by uncovering forbidden truths and disrupting its plans. The Covenant is a powerful theocratic alliance of alien species in the Halo universe, united by their shared religious beliefs and a rigid caste system. Governed by a hierarchy of prophets and elites, the Covenant is devoted to worship of the Forerunners, an ancient and highly advanced species that once ruled the galaxy. They believe that by activating the Halo Rings, they will transcend to godhood in an event they call the Great Journey, However, they misunderstand the true purpose of the Halo Rings, which are actually designed to wipe out all sentient life to stop the spread of the Flood, a parasitic alien species. Founded thousands of years before the events of Halo combat evolved, the Covenant formed when the prophets and elites united under a common religious doctrine. Over time, they absorbed other species into their empire, including the brutes, jackals, grunts, hunters, and engineers, each serving different roles within the Covenant's strict caste system. And the elites were originally the military leaders, commanding Covenant fleets and ground forces, while the prophets ruled from the top, interpreting Forerunner relics and guiding the Covenant's expansion. And the lower-ranked species served as soldiers, laborers, or cannon fodder. The Covenant's primary goal is to seek out and activate Forerunner artifacts, believing them to be sacred keys to salvation. In doing so, they wage war against any civilization that opposes them, including humanity, whom they view as heretics. And this leads to the Human Covenant War, a brutal conflict in which the technologically superior Covenant devastates human colonies and eventually reaches Earth itself. However, like any other empire, internal power struggles, especially between the elites and brutes, along with the Prophet's deception, ultimately lead to its downfall. And as key members of the Covenant begin to uncover truth about the Halo Rings, divisions form and civil war erupts within the Empire. And by the end of the war, the Covenant as it was originally known collapses, leaving behind splinter factions and warlords, some of whom continue to fight, while others seek new paths. The Empire of Nilfgaard. It is the most powerful and expansionist nation in the Witcher universe. Located in the southern regions of the continent, Nilfgaard is a vast empire that continuously seeks to expand its borders, bringing other kingdoms under its control. Its capital, Nilfgaard City, serves as the heart of its administration, where the empire is ruled by a strong, centralized monarchy. Nilfgaard is highly organized, disciplined, and guided by a belief in order and superiority, and its society is structured around strict hierarchy and efficiency. The empire values strength and obedience, and its citizens are expected to serve the greater good of the state. And unlike many northern kingdoms where feudal lords hold power, Nilfgaard operates under a centralized imperial rule, where the emperor holds absolute authority, and the empire enforces a Nilfgaardianization policy on conquered lands, integrating them into the empire by imposing Nilfgaardian culture, language, and laws. And while it brings stability and economic growth to annexed regions, its rule is often harsh, suppressing local traditions and dissent. And the empire is ruled by Emperor Emhyr var Emreis, also known as the White Flame dancing on the graves of his foes. Emhyr is a brilliant strategist and ruthless leader, whose primary goal is to unify the continent under Nilfgaardian rule. And under his leadership, the empire has waged multiple wars against the northern kingdoms, including Chimeria, Redania, and Kaidwen, seeking to bring them under its control. And its military consists of well-trained legions, elite cavalry, and an advanced intelligence network known as the Imperial Secret Service. But its expansionist policies have led to fierce resistance from the northern kingdoms and rebellion within occupied territories. Emhyr rule is also marked by political intrigue, with various factions within his court vying for power. And while Nilfgaard presents itself as a beacon of civilization compared to the disorganized north, its methods are often brutal and its ambition for dominance is relentless. The Imperium of Man. It's the dominant human civilization in the Warhammer 40k universe, spanning millions of planets across the galaxy. It was founded over 10,000 years ago by the Emperor of Mankind, a godlike being who sought to unite humanity under a single rule and protect it from alien threats, heretics, and chaos. The Imperium is a brutal, authoritarian regime that operates under a strict caste system, where fate, duty, and military service dictate every aspect of life. It is governed by the High Lords of Terra, who rule in the name of the Emperor, who is now entombed in the Golden Throne, sustaining the Imperium through his immense psychic power. The Imperium society is deeply hierarchical and fanatical, with religious devotion to the Emperor at its core. The Ecclesiarchy, the Imperium's religious body, enforces worship of the Emperor as a god, and heresy is met with execution or worse. The Imperium relies on vast, bureaucratic institutions like the Administratum, which manages logistics, and the Inquisition, which ruthlessly hunts down heretics, mutants, and threats to the Imperium. And the average citizen lives under constant surveillance, strict regulations, and the ever-present fear of war or extermination. And despite its oppressive nature, the Imperium is seen as humanity's only hope for survival, in a galaxy teeming with hostile alien races, traitors, and the corrupting influence of chaos. And its military is one of the most formidable forces in the galaxy. The Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, are genetically enhanced super soldiers serving as the Emperor's Angels of Death. The Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard, composed of countless human soldiers, fights wars on an unimaginable scale, often sacrificing millions in battle. The Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, serve as the Ecclesiarchy's holy warriors, purging heresy with fire and fate. And the Imperial Navy commands fleets of massive warships, and the Titan legions wield towering war machines of destruction. And the Imperium also relies on the Mechanicus, a techno-religious order that controls technology and worships the Omnissiah, maintaining ancient machines whose functions are barely understood. And despite its vast power, the Imperium is constantly beset by threats from all sides. Xenos, species like the Tyranids, Orcs, and Necrons seek to consume, destroy, or reclaim humanity's worlds, while the forces of chaos corrupt from within, leading to civil wars and uprisings. And the Imperium is vast but inefficient, with slow-moving bureaucracy and internal conflicts that often hinder its ability to respond to threats effectively. It is a decaying empire, locked in an eternal war for survival, where countless billions die in the name of the Emperor. Yet, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is no alternative, only war, fate, and the unyielding might of the Imperium of Man.